made you decide, well, what am I going to do next?
So my first, what happened for me is I hurt my shoulder during the pro day. I had already heard it during the season. I heard it during the pro day. They said, hey, you got to have shoulder surgery. I had been down that route before with my knee. I didn't want to have shoulder surgery because I understand that leads to you having 6 months recovery, 6 months rehab, and you're chasing this dream and you're putting off life. And I realized while I had been here in my 4 years, I had learned some intangible things from the game. So I'm like, okay, you know what? My first life after sport experience, I'm finna go out here and get a job so I can make some money. So I was doing these football camps around the country. Then all of a sudden the football camps come to the end, and I come to this point where I guess I got to get a real job. Well, the only thing that crossed my mind from when I started that business in 07 until now, I graduated in 2009, 2010, and I'm out here doing these football camps, was I have to put myself in position that I can create and put my family in position to win, and I can control my life and my happiness. So the only thing I had saw was sales or entrepreneurship. So at this point, I get into sales, and my first year, I'm getting my tail whipped. I'm up here trying to sell vacation ownership to families on vacation, and I got 2 hours to talk to them, and they were bribed to come in and talk to me, and I got to sell them a package that's for minimum 20 grand, maximum probably about 90 grand. And it's not working out. So at this point, I sit down and ask myself, what made me elite in sports? What did I do that made me one of the best in sports? And I sat down and thought about how we either learn our playbook or how we study film on an opponent. And we had this process that we went through, and I call this the learning formula. We would first and foremost, we would read our playbook. Let's say we're gonna learn our own stuff. We're gonna read the playbook. After we read the playbook, we're gonna watch film on some of the plays. So now we watch film. We're gonna see it. We're gonna go to practice. We're gonna give ourselves all the different scenarios, and we're gonna practice it. But while we're practicing it, it's gonna be recorded. Well, after practice, the next day, we're gonna go back and watch the film that we just practiced. Well, while we're watching the film, we're gonna make adjustments and corrections. And then guess what we're gonna do the day after that? We're gonna go back and practice again. So at this point in time, we doing this 4 days out of the week. By the time it came down for game day, we know the adjustments, the checks, the alignments, the assignments, the keys, the tendencies. We became such a student of the game for our plays and what we're going to get and what we're looking to do in our call sheet, what we're going to be executing. The game was easy. So when I got into sales, guess what I started doing? I had to learn the sales system, the sales process, the script, rebuttals, objections. I had to be good with the people. I had to build rapport. So guess what I did? I started going over the script, and I would role play with somebody that worked at the office with me. Well, we were recorded. So when I record it, I can go back and listen to it or hear it. See how they responded. Did they respond how I wanted them to or not? What were their objections? Why did they say what they said? What did I say? How did I respond? What was their body language? And then the next day, we role play again. So now I knew how to make my corrections, my adjustments on what to say, what not to say. Well, I can pretty much dictate what they was going to say and how they was going to do it. Well, I started doing this on a regular basis. So by the time it got down to me actually having a prospect in front of me, guess what? I became pretty good at selling them something and figuring out why they was going to buy it or why they wouldn't go buy it. And I could duplicate it. And sure enough, my sales started to go up. My team sales started to go up. And this thing became real easy. So at that point, I went from a sales rep to end up being one of the company's presenter for the whole company for everybody that walked into the building. But at that moment, that's when I realized if I was able to take that from the game, all I had to do was figure out what did the game teach me versus what I gave the game. Because you see a lot of athletes think about what they gave the game. I gave the game my blood, my sweat, my tears. I gave it 15 years of the game commitment. I gave it time. All right, you thinking all that, great, you did all that. But what did the game give you back? It gave you confidence. It gave you resiliency. It gave you the way to control your emotions after a big win or a big loss. It gave you dedication. It gave you commitment. It gave you a lot of things, what you think about it. So you had to tap into what the game gave you. So I thought about what the game gave me as far as learning and preparation from film study. It showed me how to prepare. And a lot of people can win, but it's the people that prepare to win that are the champions. So it taught me how to prepare. So guess what I started doing? I started preparing just like it was game day. So on game day, I was practicing, I was performing on game day and executing versus practicing on a potential customer. And literally, that's when it changed, and that's when the aha moment went off. I said, if I can take those things from the game and apply them over here in sales, what else can I take away from the game that I can apply in my life?